Hi everyone, it's Mitch from SportsChatPlace.com. It's Monday, December 17th, 2018, here with our free live show. Of course, we're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Our best bets over at SportsChatExperts.com. Of course, we have free picks every single game, every single day at SportsChatPlace.com. We also have our podcast, which is called Sports Pick Info. And Sports Pick Info can be found on Google Podcasts, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and just about any place that you can find podcasts. So I suggest you guys check it out. I'll tell you what, if you did listen to our podcast last week, I think you probably went about 12-2 in the NFL yesterday. We absolutely killed it. And I'll tell you, the games that we didn't agree on were probably the games that, Brian Bittler and myself are probably the ones that we lost. We probably split those games. He liked the Falcons. I liked the Cardinals with the points. I lost that one. But we all agreed on the Eagles that they were going to probably win that game outright. We had that one. We all had the Steelers. We'd love them to win that game outright as well. All three of us agreed on those two games. So definitely, I know we all cleaned up yesterday in NFL football and all weekend long. So, this was, I hit Thursday, hit Saturday, hit Sunday. So we will continue the roll. My super contest picks for the mini contest, I was 4-1. I stuck with that stupid Cardinals pick. I took the Eagles and the Steelers, the locks, right, the easy ones, and threw in the Colts and the Browns, and I don't know what I was thinking. I took the Cardinals there. It's like you can bet the Cardinals, but putting them in with your super contest picks, not recommended in the manual. Anyways, hopefully you guys are off to a nice morning. Good start to your week. Of course, it's Monday, and that means Monday Night Football. We only have one more Monday Night Football left after this week. So, you have that Monday Night Football withdrawal. Of course, college football bowl season picks up again tomorrow. So we saw those college football bowl packages available at SportsChatExperts.com. $215 any capper for the whole bowl season. $335 for two cappers. Pretty solid deal. Anyways, on this show we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets always over at SportsChatExperts.com, as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Normally I can see all of your comments up on the screen. There they are. Put them up over here. It kind of aggregates all the comments except for the Facebook group. Yeah, I'm hoping I can at least salvage hoping to at least salvage a win in that. So Brian and I had a couple of disagreements on the podcast. One, he liked the Falcons a lot in that game against the Cardinals, and that's why I said on the show, Brian's NFL picks are so good, it's like I should buy them myself, right? I mean, he's been red hot all season. Normally, in NFL, college football, same thing. Generally, I would say the first half of the year, I kind of tread water. I might have a big week here and there. I might have a down week here and there. But generally, I tread water, and I stay right around that 500 mark, maybe a little above. And then the last few weeks, the last month or so of the season, I absolutely start taking names. And it's the same thing. It's like exactly to form. I mean, if you look at the leaderboards, the last few years, you can go back and look at all my NFL picks and everything. And you can see the last month of the season, I normally clean house. The same thing with college football in the bowl season. And that's when the books clean house generally. And that's where I generally make all my money. Because it's like, I don't know, I get a little doggy, I get a little carried away. So the other game that Brian and I disagreed on was he liked North Texas, and I loved Utah State. When I left Vegas the last time, a couple weeks ago, you guys know I was doing the show from out there. And so you know what I'm talking about. All the bowl lines had just come out when I left. So it was like I left on a Tuesday night, and the bowl lines came out on Monday morning. So I had bet a lot of the bowl games on the app. And I I bet a lot of the bowl games on the app. But what happened was that game, the Utah State game, went from 10 to 7. And I had it at 10. And I had, I don't know, a few mortgage payments on it. So I was pretty excited that it was exactly as I thought it was going to play out, where Utah State was just a bigger and badder team. But yeah, I had the Titans. Brian had the Giants, and Brian had the Falcons, and I had the Cardinals. So I think those were the only two games that we lost on the entire show. I mean, hopefully you guys listen to our podcast because it's spot on. I hope to have Brian back. Maybe we'll have him back tomorrow if he can do it. But that is up to not my call. But I would like to have him back on because I like winning. I love winning. Everyone knows that. But anyways, let's get to some free picks. This game tonight, this NFL game, right? It's all over the place. I think people are kind of shell-shocked after yesterday. I know, like I said, it's right in my wheelhouse with dogs winning outright and, public teams getting bounced around. But, it's not in everybody's wheelhouse. So I think some people are shell-shocked. And tonight, we're seeing this spread drop dramatically with late money here on the Panthers. The Saints 9-1 against the number in their last 10 games, 6-1 against the number on the road this season. This is their final road game of the year. Meanwhile, the Panthers 4-2 against the number at home, 5-8 against the spread this season, just 3-7 against the spread in the last 10. The Panthers. One of the things that I've said about the Panthers under Ron Rivera ever since he's been the head coach is that when you play the Panthers, the next week you look like a team that's played the Panthers. It's like generally, they're seriously bruised up and beaten. The Panthers hit. That's one thing for sure. But one thing that the Panthers have been doing lately is they've been hitting and missing a lot. And I'll tell you, they've been hitting so hard they've been injuring themselves. This is a team that lost at home to Seattle the last time we saw them at home. But, they've lost their last 4 games in a row. But, they've played 4 of their last 5 games on the road at Pittsburgh, at Detroit, at Tampa Bay, and at Cleveland. So not really the toughest spots in the world, but certainly games where, they haven't looked especially good. When you look at them at home, they beat Tampa Bay pretty soundly, 42-28. They beat the Ravens 36-21. They beat the Eagles at Philly. They beat the Giants at home. So it's like they've played well, but you got to remember, this Saints team has been on fire. We know last game they were losing. They spotted the Bucks points and then came back and cleaned house in the fourth quarter and got it done and got the cover. But anyways, I kind of like the over here. I think we can see some points in this one. I know that the total in this thing is dropping like a rock, and that's usually a good sign for us. It's around in the 50 range. It just seems for Monday Night Football, that's just not a lot of points. But we'll take the over in the Saints-Panthers game. That'll be our first pick for today's show. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks on this show every single day. See, Joe D'Amico is in the house. Joe has an awesome radio show in Las Vegas, Joe D'Amico's Football Forecast. I was on it with Craig. And next year, Joe's going regional with the show, which is super exciting. I'm going to be on it a bunch next year. I don't care. Even if I'm not invited, I'm just going to show up. I'm going to be on the show. And I know Joe, he'll welcome me in the studio. So I'm excited to do that, and a lot of fun. Been having a lot of fun trying these different things. We're usually the first ones to do things. We're the first ones to really have a podcast. We did that 10 years ago. What was the name of our first podcast? I'll give a trivia question. I'll give a free 3-day premium plus membership to the first person that can name what our original podcast was called. This is our third podcast, is this one, Sports Pick Info. We had a podcast, our last podcast was called The First Quarter, but what was the name of our first podcast? First person that says it, I'll give you a 3-day premium plus membership for whatever 3 days you want, whether you want it today, tomorrow, the next day, or next weekend, or, during bowl season. But we'll throw that question out there, the trivia question. And if you guys don't guess it, I got news for you. You're going to be very, very disappointed because it's pretty easy. What was the name of our first podcast? what was our very first podcast that we used to do years ago, and it ran about 3 years. But anyways, we'll leave that one out there. I don't see anyone has mentioned it yet. You can catch our current podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and the SoundCloud. It's called Sports Pick Info. So if you go to any of those places or anywhere where podcasts are, and you put in Sports Pick Info, you'll get our podcast, and you can subscribe to our podcast there, and you'll get it. We do about 12 a week or more, so be sure to check it out. It's called Sports Pick Info. But anyways, still leaving that out there. If anyone can name the name of our first podcast that we ever did on this site, there it is. Givo D. Got it. Email me, Mitch@sportschatplace.com, and I'll hook you up with a 3-day Premium Plus membership, and I will give you whatever 3 days you want. But some people, nope, it was not Mitch versus Craig. The name of our first podcast was called Picks and Parlays. That was the name of it. And then after we did the podcast called Picks and Parlays, Craig and I decided, I said, let's do a website and let's call it Picks and Parlays. And we did. And then you guys know there's a whole website and a whole community, Picks and Parlays. And that's where it came from. I came up with the name Picks and Parlays. We couldn't think of the name. We're like 2 picks make a parlay. We were like all these different names. And I was just like, how about Picks and Parlays? And Craig was like, that's got to be taken. And it wasn't taken. And we renamed it and we called it, the podcast was called Picks and Parlays. And after that, we started the website Picks and Parlays, and that thing just really took off. But our first podcast was called Picks and Parlays. But our new podcast is called Sports Pick Info. So, Gibo D, email me, Mitch@sportschatplace.com. I'll hook you up with a 3-day Premium Plus membership. What the hell, I'll just make it a week. So send me an email. I'll make it a week. So this way you don't have to worry about picking 3 specific days. We'll just go from now until next Monday. So we get Sunday NFL and everything. Anyways, let's get back to the free picks. That was fun. We should do trivia like that every day. How about that? We'll do some kind of, I like that, impromptu contest. Maybe we'll get the T-shirts or something going. We'll come up with trivia or whatever. But let's go to the NBA. We're a pretty solid card tonight. I have 3 premium picks in the NBA, but I'll tell you, I could have had a lot more. A lot more. I really like this NBA card tonight. So we got the Bucks taking on the Pistons, and once again we got the Pistons involved in an odd line game, and the Pistons getting 3.5. The other day, we had the Pistons we had the Pistons against the Celtics in our Parlay Profits pick on Saturday. Those of you that don't subscribe to the Picks and Parlays newsletter, every Saturday Craig and I give out a parlay. Craig gave out Oklahoma against USC. My pick was the Pistons against the Celtics. So we hit another parlay. I think we've hit about 5 in a row. Plus I hit my Thursday parlay there at Picks and Parlays. So I don't know. I'm going to stick with the Pistons. They did me well on Saturday. I'm going to go back with them. I don't love the way the Bucks have been playing on the road this season, to be honest with you. And also, so laying points here with the Bucks on the road, I really don't like it. I'm going to take the Pistons here. I'm going to take my 3.5 points, and that'll be my second pick for today's show. Of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets over at SportsChatExperts.com, as well as SportsChatPlace.com, Premium and Premium Plus. Got another odd line over here with the Spurs laying a point against the Sixers, a very public Sixers team, and the Sixers just 5-9 on the road this season against the number. You guys know when a team bat against the number on the road, that usually means that they're overbet. But in this case, the Sixers are getting a point, which seems a little strange, but the Spurs are playing extremely well. I'm going to have to go with the Spurs here. I'm going to lay the point. This game was a pick'em. It's moved to -1. And I'll take the Spurs. I'll lay the point. That'll be my third pick for today's show. I'm going to throw in a college hoops pick. What the hell? I'm here anyway. I'm going surfing. We have a massive swell on the North Shore here in Maui. Hopefully, you guys, if you guys check out World Surf League, you'll be able to see Pipeline is on. That's how big it is. 35, 40 feet. But anyways, I won't be surfing in at 35 to 40 feet, but it's definitely on over here. It would be about 10 to 15, which is still awesome. Davidson taking on Wake Forest. Davidson 0-1 against the number on the road this season, but 1-0 straight up. They're 8-2, while Wake is 5-3. You know, Wake always seems to disappoint. Wake always seems to disappoint. They always seem to come up short. Meanwhile, Davidson coming off of that overtime loss at Temple, stay on the road here, and you know, Wake's losses. They lost to Houston Baptist, you know, by deuce in overtime, and you know they lost at Richmond by 10, St. Joe's by 100 or whatever it was. You know, and their wins, really not against the great teams. Meanwhile, we know that Davidson can score like no one's business. They always can. And their one loss this season, or one of their losses was Purdue. The other one was Temple. Two very good teams, both of them better than Wake Forest. I'm going to take Davidson here, and that'll be our last pick for today's show. So I took Davidson. We took the San Antonio Spurs. We took Davidson. We took the Spurs. We took the Pistons. And we took the over in Monday Night Football. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow, Tuesday. It's going to be a better week this week than last week because we got tons of college hoops this week, which makes things a little bit better. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I know you guys have a lot of options when it comes to videos, when it comes to free picks, when it comes to all that other stuff. And I'm just glad you guys keep us in the mix. I enjoyed playing the trivia today, so maybe we'll come up with other trivia questions. And we'll do other contests, and we'll get into the shirts and hats and everything. Now, how about that'll be my New Year's resolution. Last year, my New Year's resolution was a kinder, gentler Mitch. I think I've done pretty good at that. Haven't blown up the entire year. And next year, it'll be to run more contests, more giveaways, more promotions. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys tomorrow.